And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Truth's Too Terrible, which is really a great name. I don't know what it is. I like that name. The artwork, though, is really kind of gross. I mean, if you look here at the back of you can see that woman's organs or something, or it's a Cthulhu beast or something. In fact, this is kind of it's trying to be a noir type detective thing set in this Cthulhu or mystic type thing. I'm not really sure exactly what the setting is. I mean, things are not what they seem. The barkeep with his sinister look, the fishwives knitting in unison. It really does feel like a Cthulhu-ish style game, but it's a deduction game. Ooh, I like deduction. Let's check it out. The goal of this game is to get 3 terrible truth cards. Now I'm going to risk my life here to show you what some of these terrible truths are. A stitch in time can't stop your unraveling. Or here, the fear that something follows you is more comforting than the truth. Or here, let sleeping gods lie. Okay, now this really has nothing to do with the game. They're just kind of silly truths that are too terrible to know, although apparently I've just destroyed humanity by revealing 3 of them. But anyhow, the goal is to get 3 of these cards. You're going to do that by trying to find evidence as a detective. Now there's 6 different kinds of evidence. There's science, dark lore, occult science, physical evidence, eyewitness testimony, and local history. There's 4 cards of each type. 2 of the cards are unknowable, 1 is pertinent, and 1 is irrelevant. You're going to shuffle each of these, take 1 card of each type and set it aside. Then the rest of the cards are going to be put into 1 deck. That deck is going to be shuffled together, and you're going to turn over 3, you're not going to turn over, but you're going to place 3 cards to the side like this next to the deck. Then each player themselves is going to get their own set of cards. Like, for example, here, you're Detective Cyan, because that's what people call themselves, not Detective Joe or Detective Thompson, but by their color. Anyhow, on your turn, you have some different options. One of your options that you have is to investigate. Now, when you investigate, you're going to take one of these 3 cards here, and you're going to look at it. Ooh, this is irrelevant. And then you can either make it a public investigation or private. If it's private, you just put the card in front of yourself, turns over. If it's public, you show everyone, hey everyone, it's irrelevant. And then you get a credibility card, if there is any. Hooray. Now, once you have a credibility card, by the way, another card comes out here. Once you have a credibility card, on a future turn, instead of doing a public or a private investigation, you also have the opportunity to play a dirty trick. There are 3 types of dirty tricks. They're all listed on the card in great detail so that you don't forget what they are. One is consult the arcane, where you can basically go through the deck here and say, I want an eyewitness testimony. So you go down till you find one, and then you do an investigation with that. Another one is expose the lies. You can take a look at someone else's card that they have and show everybody, hey everybody, this one is pertinent. Or you can glimpse the forbidden, which basically is take a look at one of these, put it aside and set it down. It's just like a private investigation, except in the future, nobody can expose the lies of that one. So that's pretty much it. You're going to keep doing this until one player on their turn decides that enough is enough. They're going to present the case. At that point, everyone is going to take their cards and try to prove what's relevant, irrelevant, and, well, let's find out. So here I am, Detective Cyan, and I'm going to place 4 cards down, not included, irrelevant, unknowable, and pertinent. And then I'm going to take each of these cards here, dark lore, occult science, eyewitness testimony, science, physical evidence, and local history, and I'm trying to place them down so that they match what I think those 6 cards set aside at the beginning were. So maybe I like, oh, dark lore is definitely unknowable, occult science, I have no idea, so I'm putting that under not included, eyewitness testimony is irrelevant, and the rest I don't know, so I'll put them under not included. Then everyone's going to reveal their cards, the solution will be revealed, and whoever has the most matches correct, and incorrect matches are going to count against you. Whoever has the, and not only did I count against you, if you make 1 incorrect match, you're out. Anybody who does have the most types of evidence that they've gotten correct is going to win. If there's a tie, the person who's farthest away from the person who started the round, the lead investigator, wins the tie, and that person gets a terrible truth. But wait, there's more. Starting with the next round, you're going to have plot twists. You're going to turn one of these cards over, and it's going to do something different. It might give you a new dirty trick. Here, players can't glimpse the forbidden. Instead, they play to the crowd. New special dirty trick. Here, when you choose to investigate, you have to say public or private before you look at the card. Here, you can choose a type of evidence and investigation. The next person can't do that same type. This plot twist does nothing. So anyhow, then there's supposedly advanced strategy, which just basically involves having 2 plot twist cards. Wow. Okay, let's talk about the artwork. The artwork is kind of interesting. It's creepy. It's sinister. The truth's too terrible. Like I said, I kind of like them. You want to hear some more terrible truths that no one knew? I scream, you scream, we all scream. We all know what you've done. Don't count your blessings before they hatch. Hope is a waking nightmare. Not all those who wander are found. Truth's too terrible. I'm ruining everything. Okay, but let's talk about the game itself. The game itself is pretty bad. Essentially, it's a deduction style game. But the deduction is really not that interesting. What are you doing? I look at a card. Ooh. You look at a card. Ooh. You look at a card and show it to everyone. Ooh. So when you show a card to everybody, you are giving them more information and giving yourself the same information everybody else has. But you get to play a dirty trick in the future. Yeah, but that dirty trick is usually not that big of a deal. Even some of the dirty tricks like, I can reveal your card and show it to everybody. Why? Why would I want to show it to everybody? I'd rather look at it myself. I get some more information. Showing it to everybody just helps everybody and not me. So why would I waste my turn helping everybody and hurting one player a little? It just doesn't make any sense. So there's that. Okay, so essentially you're just drawing cards, finding like, I can figure a couple of these out. I'll call the case. And you're never going to figure all of them out. You're just going to figure out a couple of them. So then you call the case. Well, the game doesn't have any way of doing this, but I can watch what other players do. I know what evidence you've looked at. So if I see you put a solution card under unknowable, I'm like, well, he's seen 2 of the occult signs, so I'm going to put my occult sign there too. So you have to say, everyone don't look at each other while we place these cards out, because by the way you're placing your cards out, I can kind of deduce some stuff, and that's not fair, and everyone just sits there. I'm not placing my cards out until you place your cards out. Come on now. And that just degenerates. Okay, so you play, you don't look at each other. Everyone places their cards out. But there's no real, you might as well guess. Hey, if you're wrong, you don't get the thing. But if you're right, you might win. So everyone's going to probably know 1, maybe 2 for sure. But knowing 1 or 2 isn't going to help you win. So you might as well guess that third one. There's no real deduction in this game. This game is not a deduction game. It's a silly card game masquerading as a deduction game with this really heavy, dark horror type theme laid on it that is kind of cool but doesn't really come out in the play. It's just, honestly, the game is essentially draw a card, look at it. The most fun thing of the theme is actually the terrible truths, and that's just a way to collect 3 of those to win. Once again, a kind of cool idea that obviously did not have any kind of streamlining or any development done to it. Just not a very good game. So Truth's Too Terrible, I like the idea of it. A Cthulhu Noir thing. Just doesn't work though. Dice Tower Judgment.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!